All right, now let's see how we can use CSS variables, also called custom properties, to keep our code dry. So I'm going to add a div with a class of 1. And next to that, I'm going to add a div with a class of 2. Now, let's define some styles. I'm going to give the same background to both these elements. So we're going to set the background to, let's say, FFDD36. Now let's duplicate this and change the class to 2. So we have repeated the background color in 2 places. This is a very common problem in a lot of style sheets. This is where we can use CSS variables to get rid of this duplication. So on the top, we use the root pseudo class selector. This selector matches the HTML element. This is where we can define custom properties or global variables. So we start with 2 hyphens and then give our variable or custom property a name. We can say primary color or color primary. Doesn't really matter. Then we set the value. Now, the value doesn't have to be a color. It can be anything. So we can define another custom property for the size of our borders. So we can say border size 2 pixels. We can also have another custom property for border radius. So let's say we want to use a border radius of 10 pixels consistently everywhere on this website. This is where we define these values. Now, these custom properties get inherited by all elements in the DOM. So over here, we can access the background using the var function. So we call this function and then type the name of our custom property. So color-primary. Similarly, over here, we call the var function and set the primary color. Now back to our page, let's bring up DevTools and select one of these elements. Look, we have inherited this background color, which was initially defined in the root element. So all these properties we defined here are inherited and are accessible using the var function.